The advice and opinions expressed by the host of Autism Live and her guests are meant solely as suggestion and should not be in any way construed as child-specific advice. Any choices you make in determining your child's treatment are completely at your own discretion.
Autism Live during the Festival of Toys. I'm very excited to be here with you this morning because this is my favorite time of year. It is the Monday before Thanksgiving and it's all official now, right? It all ramps up. When I was a kid, Christmas season did not start until like the first week of December, and then by the time I was a teenager, it officially started the day after Thanksgiving, and now it really officially starts the day after Halloween for some people. And then for other people, it's like this week. We're pushing it a little bit, but it's this week. We always like to start the Festival of Toys a little bit early because we know that there are some amazing shopping opportunities that are going to be happening starting already, right? And that if you can get a wonderful toy that ignites joy into a child and you can get it for 50% off, 40% off, 30% off, anything off, then that makes it possible for you to do more things. And if you're a special needs family, you have more things to do and more things to spend your time and your money on. So that's why we like to start the Festival of Toys a little bit early. And if it's too early for you, well then watch this recorded later on. But it's not too early for me. So first of all, let me say thank you for being here. We're going to be live for the next hour, and I'm going to be talking about some of the amazing toys that I am surrounded by. If you are a regular at Autism Live, you know that we every year put out a toy guide. So this year's 2023 Autism Live Toy and Gift Guide is live right now on our Autism Network site. So if you want to go to that, you go to autismnetwork.com and you click on the, across the top, there are tabs and one of them says Toy and Gift Guide. You click on that and it automatically takes you to the home page for this year's guide. And then you can click the different categories to pick the age range. Now, let me explain all that in just a second here. But I also want to let you know that in the drop-down menu, you could also, if you already know the age range that you think you want to start with, you have the opportunity to go directly to that, bypass the home page for that, or you have the ability to look at the last 2 years' guides. So I hope that you will take a look at the guide because we took a great deal of time. We had judges who looked at toys and said, you know, what this would be great for is that, and we gave awards. So and many different categories. So there are different age ranges. So we have the baby toddler range, we have the preschool range, we have the school age range, and we have the teen tween age range, adult age range, and then a section for caregivers. Now, as you look at the guide, you might go, I think they were drinking when they did this. Because I don't understand why there's a toy that is, you know, for 6 months and up in the caregiver category, or why is this toy in the adult category? I don't really understand. Because sometimes a toy is universal and anybody would enjoy it, right? There are many different toys that you see behind me that we could have put them in any age range. We could have given them multiple different awards that we have, right? So we went with what the judges said, and we went with what their gut instinct was on some of the toys. And some of it's kind of telling when you see what they voted for which award. You go, okay, that could have been this and that, but they really wanted it for this. So I kind of like that. Which is why I tell people, start with the age range that the person that you're trying to gift for is in. So if you are trying to buy for an 11-year-old, then I would start with the tween teen category. And I would kind of look and see if something sings to you in that category. But if it doesn't, I wouldn't stop there. I would then go to the two categories around that age range, like I would go to the school age range, or I would go to the adult range and see if there's something in that range that you like. And then I would look at everything. Because some people are like, oh, I found something for a baby in the caregiver category. Well, sure, yes, absolutely, right? So, or I found something in the toddler category that I wanted for my adult friend. Absolutely. There are no hard and fast rules. I sort of hate the age range thing because it's very misleading. But for some age ranges, we have to be really careful. For like the baby and toddler, we want to make sure that, and I tried to put age ratings whenever we had them from the manufacturer to show you what's safe, because there are some people at different ages, and even some, I mean, there are some adults that have a choking hazard, right? So we have to be mindful of individuals and think of things in that respect. Hey, we're saying hi to Louise from Boston. Yay! We were just talking about Boston. Love Boston. I lived in the suburbs of Boston when I was a little girl. And then we moved away. I was like 3, 4, but that's a really important time for language development. And I was told many years later that I have a couple of sounds. They were like, sounds like you lived in Boston. I don't say Paktika anymore, but you know. And then we, like the year before the pandemic, we went back to visit Boston and visit, I was doing a speaking engagement there. And I thought, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much of who I am is rooted in Boston. Because I'm not an LA girl. I live in LA, but you know, look at me. I'm not an LA girl. And in Boston, women are tough. And I was always raised to be tough, you know, and not be girly. So I thought, oh, you know, it's saying to me. Anyway, so welcome from Boston. And if you want to, you can write in right now. We're live right now on Facebook, on YouTube, and Twitter. We hope that you will write in and say hi to us and talk about some of the toys that you're seeing that you like, or toys that you've seen on the toy guide. We're going to be, there it is, the Autism Live Toy and Gift Guide. But you can write in about anything. This is a free resource, by the way. There are links to buy the toys. You can also visit Autism Network's Amazon store. And I do want to say that always before, we've been doing this toy guide for over 10 years, and always people would say to us, well, you must be getting some sort of a, you know, an affiliate commission or something on the toys. And we were always like, no, it's a free resource to you, and we're not making any money on it. And finally, enough people convinced me that in this day and age of how things work with influencers, that's really kind of ridiculous. And so this year, if you use the links on our Amazon page, we actually will get a portion of the sale. It doesn't cost you anything more, but it helps to keep us on the air. So I do encourage you to check out our Amazon affiliate shop page, where we've made it easy for you guys to see reviews that we've done of the toys and to purchase them. And it does help us to keep the lights on here. So, and again, doesn't cost you anything, but you do need to use the links. Okay, so what else have I left out? And you know, I always like to say on the show that we have lots of experts on the show, and that I'm not an expert in anything. And I have said in private rooms, but I'm going to say it here on the show, I think for the first time, that if I were going to claim to be an expert in anything, at this point, I would say I'm a pretty good expert on toys for kids on the spectrum. There, I've said it. Because I've spent a lot of time in the trenches, you know, hard work, you guys, playing with the toys. Playing with the toys and thinking, okay, what could we teach with this toy, and how could we teach this? And then seeing kids play with the toys. Yeah, so I'm thinking I'm up there with whoever is an expert in this. I'm up there. How about that? I don't often admit to that very often. Anyway, I'm really excited. Shall we launch in? For the next couple of shows around Thanksgiving, we're going to be showing some of my top picks from the toy guide. Now, listen. This is like Sophie's Choice. It's like, how do you pick some of your favorites? But I've got some toys here that I want to show you and demo for you very quickly that are some of my favorites. All right, let's get started right here. Let's see what the first toy is. I think I know what it is. There it is. This was our Social Skills Builder Award in the baby toddler category. This is the VTech Style and Glam On Unicorn. Stop. I mean, I just love this toy. First of all, the toy is on rollers so that it moves and scoots. And if you have a baby toddler, we're constantly trying to encourage stable things that move and scoot because it encourages them to move and scoot, right? But there's so many fun things about this toy. Now, the thing, you know, if it's a VTech toy, I'm going to turn it on and then it's going to make some noise. But I do love that I've got 2 volumes here that I can, so that it's not super loud, but it probably is going to seem loud to you. And I also have 3 settings here. I'm going to put it on the storybook one. Yay. And now the fun thing. Yes. Put, I love, I don't want to interrupt it, but it prompts the child and it says, let's play, we're going to have a good time, you learn songs and things, but it says you can change my accessories. Now, they have a horn and they have a little heart on their tail. And so I have all these accessories here that I can choose one to put on whatever I want to do. And on the accessories, they have, like this one has a heart. Look at how good Chris is. So if I put this on their horn.
Heart. This accessory has a heart.
So I'm learning shapes, right? This one has, I gotta find, there's my camera. This one has a shell on it. So if I stick it on their tail.
Shell. This accessory has many shells.
Yes, it does. So there's all different kinds of combinations. That this one has a flower on it. This one's a crown. I don't remember what it says when you put the crown on.
Crown. This is a crown.
Yes. And there are buttons to push. I can push.
I have 2 magical purple wings.
2. I'm learning numbers and shapes and colors. And I love the wonderful wings. It's also got this light up button here. There's so many different settings. I've got it on the book setting now, so I can play different games with it. It's really, and this toy is appropriate for toddlers, I believe. And of course I don't have, well, wait, I have the box here. 1.5 to 4 years. So this is how it comes boxed. I'm going to turn it off so that I can continue to talk. There we go. So it is 1.5 to 4 years old. So we're really talking the toddler age range, but super fun. I love, we're working on fine motor skills when we're using these and applying them, and they snap on really easily, and there's a really nice, lovely snap sound that it makes when it goes on. So we're styling, we're glamming, we're rocking and rolling, we're fine motor wonderfulness. VTech, fabulous, fabulous toy. Hours and hours of fun. No one will not be able to play with this because he, she, it, they are so, so cute. So show me what the next toy up is. Oh, Sticko, 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 Sticko. This is a mag former toy, and this is meant for babies. This is 18 months up. You can hear it rattling. I'm gonna unbox it right here. I get all these wonderful pieces that can snap together in a million different ways. So when you want to be working on building skills, this is a great starter because I've got all these pieces, right? And if I get them close, it automatically is going to help me. It's going to do the work for me because it's a magnet. But I can make so many different combinations and begin to build things. I really love the fine motor stuff that you can be doing with this. And this won our best STEM toy for our baby toddler age range because I'm learning, for instance, there's a thing called functional fixedness, which is you can only use things in one direction. And we want for people to be able to think of how many different ways. So I've got this little ball, right? But I can apply this eggshell to it, and suddenly this becomes hair for this little being, right? But I can, apply this in different ways too, and I could make this the egg, right? That I'm eating the egg. I can take this cone and I can do different things with the cone, but the cone can become a hat, right? I can apply the cone to this, and I've made a tree, right? So I love the different creative, I can't get my hand around the thing. There we go. So I've made like a tree. So many different shapes that they can, ways that they can build together. Now I've made something else. I don't know what I've made. But it's fun. And I love when we have something that is errorless learning. there's no way I can fail at this. And as a baby, as I'm starting to click these together, and again, it makes that very, you can't, you can hear it, but it pulls. These are very strong magnets, but very safe. And again, age range, this is from Magformers that make great toys. 18 months plus, a perfect first builder toy, Sticko. They're not sticky, but they're magnet sticky. Wonderful. Love those. Our next toy up, this is our top toy award for preschool kids. This is another thing from VTech. This is VTech's Story Time with Sunny. And he's the top toy for some really good reasons, because I love him so much. He's got some green on him, and we must be on green screen at the moment, so that's why he's kind of shimmery. But this toy, I've fallen in love with him. I want to show you, so he's a lamp, and I'm going to turn him on.
Hi again. I'm so excited to see you.
I'm sorry, I cannot get enough of this.
Where'd the disc go?
Where did the disc go?
Get the disc and put it in my lap to start playing.
So I've got 4 discs here. This one is the You and I. This is Silly Games. This is Stories and Songs. And this is My Great Day. And I am in love with this one. So I'm going to put in My Great Day, and you're going to see why.
My great day.
And
Good morning. If you're happy with what you chose, press the play button.
okay, so because on each disc, imagine, so there's 4 discs, and on each disc it has 8, 9 different things that I can dial and choose. And this is, it says Great Day. I'm going to put it on Quiet Time. And then
Quiet time.
Quiet Time.
If you're happy with what you chose, press the play button.
And I'm going to push play.
Let's take a few minutes to relax a bit.
And this wonderful
Let's take a
toy
moment to calm our energy and
talks them
listen to the
through
quiet.
early meditation.
The best way to do this is to lie down or sit and try our best to be very still. First, let's close our eyes. Notice how your chest rises and falls with every breath you take. Let's take 3 breaths together. 1, 2.
Okay.
3.
I could listen to this forever, okay?
Notice
But
how your
I need
chest
this toy in my
rises.
life. And so now I just turned it off. I want to tell you that if you don't want the movement, because not everybody, the movement is too much for some people, there is a very easy button that you push and it goes on battery save mode, and then the face still talks and you get the animation of the face, but the lamp no longer moves. So if that's something that you need, you can absolutely do that. There is a setting on here that it becomes an alarm clock for your child that you can set the timer, and it will actually wake your child up and start on this particular disc. You can go through the different things that they need to do, like brushing their teeth, you know, eating a snack, cleaning up, ready for bedtime. So many different things just on this disc that you can be working on with your child, and that the lamp, Sunny, is prompting them through it. I just love it. I want it in my life. I'm like, why is there not an adult version? And then I say to myself, this could be my adult version. I love this one. Has jokes. It has field trips, chit chat, let's pretend, daydreams. The Silly Games has so many different things for them to be able to play. Like there's a guessing game, a poem creator. Stop it, you guys. And this is Stories and Songs there's so many. This toy could do so many things for so many children. I thoroughly love him. I don't want to overstate it, but I thoroughly, thoroughly love him. Can read stories to your child and is interactive. And this facial piece, you know, you can talk about what's an angry face and there's something about the simplicity of this face that's easier for our kids to read in terms of looking and judging what the emotions are. So a great base to begin to teach all those things is a reason why it's a top toy, you guys, because it's just brilliant. So that is Story Time with Sunny, VTech, top toy in our preschool category because it's a top toy. I think you can see why now. Okay, what's our next toy up, Chris? Because my desk is full at this. Oh, Rainbow Picnic. Okay, this is the best cardboard game winner for preschool, the Very Hungry Caterpillar Rainbow Picnic game from University Games. You guys know that I love when we talk about eating the rainbow, and I also love the Very Hungry Caterpillar. So you get these board pieces this is your individual board piece, and it has the rainbow on it. And I love that it's got the colors, but it also has the text. So I'm learning colors already. There is a game board here. I don't know that I'm going to get that out because I think it's at the bottom, but it looks like a big picnic basket. And in it, you set all these different fruits and vegetables. And there are cards and cards and cards of different fruits and vegetables that first you poke out, but then they have little colored discs that you set them into. Can I get okay, here's a blue donut, and I'm going to set it in the blue base. And then you put it on the picnic basket board table, and there's all these different fruits and vegetables and foods, because a donut is not a fruit or a vegetable, right? And then you take a card, and the card tells you what to do. So I'm making a ginormous mess. So you pick a card and you turn it over and you read what it says. And you can play this with young kids. You're developing those reading skills, but it says all play. All players pass one food item to the player on their right. So we're learning left from right. And you're picking which food that you want to give away. But what you eventually want to do to win is get a food or some sort of food, fruit, vegetable, or otherwise, on each one of your board so that you are actually eating the rainbow. Oh my gosh, there's so many conversations you can be having about, well, what's the best choice to make and what tastes good and what green food do you want to have on your board, right? Did you pick broccoli? Ooh, broccoli's good. We're demystifying food. We're teaching good nutrition. Like when it came to the donut, I would say, oh, there are very few blue foods, by the way. But I would say, what's the best choice, blue food? Let's pick the healthiest choice, right? You're teaching about matching colors, fruits, vegetables, other foods, learning the rainbow, and most importantly, having a really good time. So absolutely love that. And it's all based on Eric Carle's The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Wonderful, wonderful. What else we got? I think this one is the next one up. Let's see. Yes. This is our best art craft winner for preschool. This is the Fisher-Price Sensory Bright Light Station. That's a mouthful. Fisher-Price Sensory Bright Light Station is another one that I absolutely love. This is for preschool kids, right? So what I do here, I can turn it on. I've got 3 different volumes. Stop already with that. How much do we love that? Because I like it. And did you see how it's doing green? And we don't even have the green screen on. I don't know why it's being so weird. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's lighting up with different colors. I've got a bunch of different places that I can, there we go, now you're seeing some of it. I've got 5 different ways that I can play with this, different modes that I can set it on. And then I have all this control. I have a joystick, so I can start to, can you see that I'm manipulating the colors? I'm changing where they are. I can also change the sounds. Oh, I've turned it so that there aren't sounds. But when I click buttons, I'm making different sounds. Can you hear that? I'll turn it all the way because oh, this is changing speed. Sorry, this one is sound. Yeah. So as I'm moving them, they will make different sounds that I'm creating with it. And I can also modify the colors. So I just changed it green, and that's why the screen went a little crazy. I got 2 different buttons there that I can do it. And I can change the shade of the color here with this knob. It's endless, the things that you can do. And I just picture taking this on a long car drive, and they can chase the colors. So this one, it's actually manipulating the colors. And they have two sensory items. So this is a squishy, and it's really fun when you put it on the different colors, it lights up. And it's just a fun sensory thing. And then this is a spinner that when I put that on, there's a place to hold it with your thumb, and you spin it and you look at the colors underneath. Very, very satisfying. I love it. It's very creative. It's a wonderful art craft project. You're playing with light and there's no mess. So you can take this in the car, take this to your grandma's house, and you don't have to clean up a whole big thing. But they get to be creative. So I absolutely adore that. Again, Fisher-Price, the bright light station, so sensory light bright station. So loving it. I'm turning it off and putting it over here. Okay, what's my next contestant up for bid? Oh, it's right here next to me. Okay, I'm going to bring up the box because this one is going to be hard to see because it's a little big, right? It is the Leapfrog Magic Adventures Telescope. I'm going to bring up the box so that you can see the whole thing here. Okay, so this is a serious business toy. And if you can put the full screen, the toy back up there for a second so that they can see what it won. This is the Educational Toy Award. Thank you, Chris. This is for our school age category. And this is a real telescope, but it's meant for younger kids. And so the age range on this is 5+ years. And if you've got somebody who is interested in space, boy, this is an amazing toy because it's really rugged. It's going to work. It's going to teach them lots of facts about, and this is on a whole stand here, you guys. I don't know if you can see. This is a whole big, sit in their room kind of thing. And there's a bunch of things that I love about it. First of all, it is a real telescope. And when I turn it on, this screen pops up. There is an actual lens in here that can see to great distances. But unlike
Adventures Telescope.
Yeah, it's talking now.
Use the D-pad to highlight a menu option.
And there are 6 different areas that we can play with. But what I love about this is that with a regular telescope, you got to look in the viewfinder and you got to close one eye, and that's an advanced skill. And a lot of kids have trouble with that, closing one eye, looking through one eye, and just finding the right position of your eye to be able to see through. What this telescope does is it removes that element from it because it has a screen here that this is what I'm going to see on. I'm not having to look through a viewfinder to be able to see something. But I can, look at something a great distance away, including the moon, and I'm looking at it through this. So first of all, I'm not going to hurt myself. I'm not making contact with anything with my eyeball. It's wonderful. Now, some of the different things that I can put it in. Yeah. It's telling me, it's prompting me because I haven't done anything yet. I can go on the telescope mode and I can be looking at the stars. I can be looking at the moon. I can go on the explore mode, which is what I'm going to do. There's a game mode, a quiz mode, a gallery mode, and this comes with cards that have facts and games that you can play. I'm going to explore the moon, and it's very much like a video game, how you maneuver around. They'll get it. And now it's going to teach me about moon phases, which is really wonderful. Moon phases. And it's going to help me. There's a video that I can watch. It's showing me the moon phases on the screen. You probably can't see it from on the camera. But so many things to learn about space and about the planets. And stars and our sun, and there's so many different configurations of ways to play with this. It's kind of endless. So as it says on the box, it's a real interactive digital telescope. They can even take pictures and store them. I'm going to turn, because the music, and there is a way to turn the music off too, but I'm going to turn it off to talk about it. So again, this was our educational toy winner For the school age category, this is the Leapfrog Magic Adventures Telescope. Boy, is that a happiness gift for somebody on your list. If they're already into space and science, they're going to love that. If they're not already into space and science, you might find that they are. There's over 100 NASA videos and images that come with it. Really lovely, high-quality toy. That's why it's on the list. What do we have next, Chris? Oh, one of my favorites. This is the Future Fans Football Kit. And what this is for, it's the Social Skills Builder winner for the school age category. And it's put out by a company called Future Fans. I'm sorry, it's just brilliant. And I can't help but feel like this is like the perfect gift for grandparents to give, because it's kind of amazing. It comes in this wonderful box, and I'm going to unbox it right here in front of you so that you can see some of the amazing things. You open it up, very well made, and the first thing that you've got here is a book. And how much do we love books? But this book is interactive because as we read the book, we are going to find that it talks about football, right? But it talks about, it puts it in a context of social stories, right? But you get to a certain point as you're reading, and as a grandparent, you could be reading along with the child, right? It gets to a point and it tells you it's time to open up. You lift off the lid here, and it has sessions. So there are different boxes, and they're numbered, so well made. So you open up session box number 1, and now it's an interactive thing that you're going to need as you grow to become a football fan, and as you're learning about the game and how to be a fan. And look, it's this amazing gift. It's not just one gift, there's a whole bunch of gifts, right? So you've got a bag that you're gonna, and it tells you what to do with the bag, right? And then eventually you open up session 2, and every part of this is well made, you guys. Such a lovely gift. But the whole point of this, and by the way, there's a total of 8 different sessions that need to be opened. So we just love the way the boxes go back together too. And each part of it has something, an activity, something for you to do as you prepare to know about football, to build skills. It builds all kinds of fine and gross motor skills and social skills, because part of being a football fan is being part of a group and enjoying the game with other people. That is a social skill. One of the things that I've been really hepped up about this last year, there's a wonderful TV show called Welcome to Wrexham. And it's Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds bought a soccer team, and that was not doing well. And you guys, it's just amazing. If nothing else, you have to watch season 2, episode 2, because it's all about autism. Because autism is everywhere, right? And I'm telling you, one of the best things I've seen about autism on television in a really long time. But one of the other things in season 1, they did an entire episode about why, especially men, but why people in general like to be fans of a sport and have a team. And I never really understood it, even though my dad was a baseball player and he loved baseball. I never really got into sports and watching them, and it kind of just didn't get it. And I watched that episode and I went, oh, it's a social thing. And for people that are struggling to connect with other people, it is a way to connect with each other. Kind of missed that, I'm sorry. In my whole life, I kind of just didn't get that. That wasn't my currency. But I began to think about how important it is for kids on the spectrum to be able to connect with people in different ways. And sports is a big way, but often they get left behind because they don't understand the sport, they don't have the skill to do it. This toy can make it so that they do. And it's interactive with the person who gets it for them. Super love this, you guys. I super-de-duper-de love it. I'm going to put it back because I want to keep it nice and pristine. But super well made, love the mission, love the idea. Future Fans Football, oh my gosh, so much fun. Great, great gift to give somebody, and it's the gift that'll keep on giving because they'll learn skills and they'll be able to share it with you. What's our next toy, Chris? I'm looking around. Oh, okay. I got to grab this off the shelf here. This is super fun. Kids' Choice Award for school age. And of course, the kids would pick this, right? This is the VTech Switch and Go 2-in-1 Spino Speedster. Like, what? What did you just say? Okay, so this is how the box, how it comes. And what you get are these two dinosaurs that are super cool, really, really wonderful. But if you click the pieces around and attach them together, you get this super cool speedster who makes noises. It's a VTech toy. He does all kinds of things, right? Oh, now I'm never gonna get that. Good, be back down. And I can shoot these little guys. There we go. It's fun. It's so much fun. And I can take this thing apart and I can change it back. Look at how fast. Now I'm amazed at myself. Look, I am not the best at this. But look at how fast, is it that? Oh, his feet go there. And now I've got the two dinosaurs again. That wasn't too hard, right? I love this, and our kids love it too. And they still roll and move, and very quickly, I don't know if I can get it back into I don't know, that would be asking a lot of me, you guys. I did this the other day, and it took me a hot minute. But you know, if I were a kid, I could have this back together in 3 seconds. Oh, it's that. Did she just do it? And it clicks back together. Stop it. Stop it. It's so much fun. Listen to my powerful engine. So really, really fun. Hours of fun going back and forth between the two. I'm amazed with myself right now that I was able to do that. So, of course, this was the kids' choice because the kids all wanted to play with this. And what's the number one thing that we always say when we're looking for a toy? It's got to spark joy. This sparks joy. But think about all the fine motor thing. It's problem solving. It's logistics. It's flexibility, right? There are so many different things that you can do with this great toy. VTech, another great one. The 2-in-1 Spino Speedster. And again, this is our kids' choice in the, was that school-aged? I think or was it preschool? It was school-aged for a little bit older kids. Okay, wonderful. What's our next toy up for discussion? Oh, uniquely wired. Here we go. So, can I see that up there again, Chris, if you don't mind? This is uniquely wired, and this is our best book winner. I believe for the tween teen, yes. It's Uniquely Wired, a story about autism and its gifts. It's by Julia Cook, but this book is put out by Boys Town Press, which I was pretty impressed with. And a lot of times you guys write in and say, is there a book, Shannon? Is there a book that can help build self-esteem? Is there a book to make my child understand why they're a little bit different? Is there a book that would help a sibling or a grandparent or an aunt and uncle? This is the book, you guys. We love the fact that it keeps things in such a positive light, that it talks about perseverations, but it says, sometimes the thing that you are super interested in is like really useful for the world. We love the illustrations. It's a very easy book to read, but it's very empowering. It really brings home the message that you can be different, but not less. Yeah, super important to me that we give that kind of a message to our tweens and teens. And again, not just for the tween and the teen on the spectrum, share this with the people who are asking questions who don't quite get it. Very positive book. Love it. Boys Town Press, Uniquely Wired. Super duper love. What's our next book, Chris? Our next, Bubblegum is our next. Okay. So I have to tell you a little story about Bubblegum here. This is our social skills builder for tweens and teens. This is the Triceratops Bubblegum. This is done by Lux Blocks. And we are huge fans of Luxbox, but I'm just going to tell you that this is a prototype label, so this is not the actual label of what it's going to look like. And I think they probably have that out now. But we want you to see that Luxbox comes packaged in many different ways. But we love these canisters that they have so that you've got all the pieces, and you could put these pieces together in myriads of millions of different ways to create lots of different things. Lux Blocks, we've featured this in every toy guide that we have had since the beginning of toy guides because we love Lux Blocks. It's a building system, but it's a little bit different than your average building block. And I love, you can see these are some of the shapes. I love that this is all based in science and that, you know, okay, just to name a couple of famous people like Frank Gehry and Einstein, when these are, you know, a really important scientist and a really important architect, that if you look at their childhood and the people who designed these did, they saw that they, both of those children had a very early building system that they were able to use and play with. That was one of their early toys. Well, they decided that they wanted to make a building system that was easy, and you can see these snap together. And I've had people look at this and go, oh, my child will never be able to do this because it takes a little bit of a snap to get them together. And yet we have seen hundreds of kids sit down at a table and start to play with these, and I love to see what they create. You can see that the really cool thing is once you snap it together, it's like a hinge. Well, if you, you know, if certain brains, the way they can use this, they can create movement. I'm going to use the example of Bubblegum's tail here, that his tail is such that these can be used as a gear, but he has movement. We've seen kids that also make, you know, those balls that you put them, they get really small and you pull them apart and they get wide. We've seen kids make a space station with these that can contract and grow. So many things that they can do. We love that this particular kit is designed to make this Triceratops, right? And the Triceratops, his head moves, his tail moves, he's got all these different things. But you could also take this apart and make a million different things. I encourage you, I think that Lux Blocks should be a part of every school-age kid's toy catalog because of two things. First of all, the fine motor that is involved, that I have seen kids that could not hold a pencil sit down and work hard, excuse me, to be able to snap these together because it's very reinforcing, excuse me. They want to be able to play with it. And what's fascinating to me, for years, I would just have a set of 10 of these on my desk. And whenever somebody came in for a meeting, excuse me, they would just be sitting there and they could play with them. These are adults, right? And I would watch them snap them together and create different things. Fascinating. Fascinating, because people would create things that would be like, I didn't know you could make the pieces do that, right? So the creativity piece of this is absolutely critical. So we also love that this can be a shared toy experience, and that's why it was social skills, because we want, the assignment would be to put this together with someone to be able to problem solve through working on this with someone. And we've had the opportunity to do this many times at events where we have a bunch of these and people sit down and create things together. And like, it's kind of like a puzzle, but it's also a building toy. And so it can spark all kinds of interaction, whether that's conversation or not. It can spark all different kinds of cooperative work. So I can't help myself. That's the thing about these things. They're absolutely addictive. And once you start to build, you know, so you can see that I can create all kinds of things with this. I can make a box if I want to. So I really love Luxbox. They're a really wonderful toy. You can get all kinds of kits now, but I also recommend just getting a starter set. But I couldn't resist Bubblegum. Is Bubblegum not the cutest thing that ever was? I love her little eyes. Can you see on her head? Super wonderful. So Lux Blocks, check them out. What's our next toy, Chris? Oh, a puppet. Wait, I'm murdering Bubblegum as we go. We don't want to do that. Okay, so Folk Manus is a wonderful puppet building company. This one, the speech builder for tweens and teens, it's the Folk Manus Funny Bird puppet, but they're puppets in general. We have several puppets in the toy guide that we gave speech builder awards because look at this guy. Look at how hilarious and the movement. The thing with puppets is you want to look at the personality of the puppet, and he's got such interesting movement with just if you just shake him a little bit, he's just got all kinds of funny. He's reacting weird to the light because he's kind of yellow with a little bit of orange. I think you can see him now. Anyway, I always say with a puppet, you want to model. You want to show somebody how to play with a puppet, right? And everybody gets all worried, like, well, I'm not a good ventriloquist. With puppets, it's not about that. Let them watch your mouth move, right? But we loved this one for the tweens and teens because he's got a funny personality, right? So usually I put a puppet on. I love puppets. And I kind of check out the face and what the movement is and then I find the voice for it and go, hey, how are you all? Is everybody having a good time? I am Cadence. That's my name, and I'm a bird, right? And so I would start to interact with myself and interact with the teen tween, and they want it. They want it, they want to put it on their arm, and then they want to create a character. And then they want to have a conversation. And let me just tell you, the things that will come out of their mouth that they couldn't have said through themselves, but they can say through the puppet, you will be a believer. So I love puppets as speech builders. I think they're a wonderful thing. And all the Folk Manus puppets are just luscious, right? They're luscious. I'm Cadence. And I would like to talk about the toy guide. Yes. And then you can work on finding different expressions, like how does the puppet move? But I do think it's important. We don't just give puppets to kids. We want to model, right? My thing would be, sometimes you got to get two puppets so that you have one on and they have one on. We used puppets a lot with my son to build language. I absolutely love them. We used to have a pony wall in one of our apartments that served perfectly as a puppet thing. So he would have friends over and they would do puppet shows. Really super fun. These are really well made. They can sit and be plushy stuffed animals, or we can use them to spark conversation. So Folk Manus, you're going to be seeing more of those in the toy guide, but that's the funny bird, and that's the winner for teens and tweens. I just want to get him to sit up. There we go. Okay, what do we have next? Oh, Crazy Erin. I love the Crazy Erin thinking putty, and this particular one won the Motor Play winner for adults. This is the Goodnight Cactus thinking putty from Crazy Erin. So if you don't know about Crazy Erin's thinking putty, oh, this is good stuff. And they make it in all different types so that you can find one that is deeply pleasurable to whoever the individual is. This particular one, which is called Goodnight Cactus, you can see, and it takes a little bit of finger work to get it out of the tin, but that's part of the joy of this, right? It's very tactile. It's just enough sticky so that it sticks to itself, but it requires a little bit of movement from your hands to move it around. Now, you can, create shapes with it. You can do whatever. You can roll it, or you can just squish it. It's very satisfying. It's good fine motor. It is, I think, first of all, it's a sensory thing. I don't know if you can see, but this particular one, the thing that's super fun about it is that it's color changing from heat. It's kind of like a mood ring for thinking putty. So as my fingers warm it up, it's turning from purple to kind of an apricot-y color. And I'm told that if my hands don't carry a lot of heat in them, I have very cold hands, but I'm told that if I get it hot enough, it will turn yellow. And so that's why it's Goodnight Cactus, because it's like colors of the sunset in the desert. But I can tear a piece off of it, which I'm going to do right now, and make a shape with it, and see if I can get one piece to be yellow, if I get it really nice and hot. And it will squish back together. So I can you see how orange that got instead of being purple? And let's see if I can get it warm enough so that it turns yellow. I don't know, I have very cold hands, so I'm creating friction. It's getting lighter, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get it to turn yellow. But any normal person could probably get it to turn yellow. But my hands don't get, I don't have the, but you can see it's getting lighter and lighter. But the whole point of thinking putty is that it gives your hands something to do so that your mind gets clear. There's a whole discussion about right brain and left brain. And a lot of times our brains get really busy and there's a lot of chatter going in our brains. It's starting to get closer to yellow. But when the chatter is going on in your brain, it can be very hard to learn. It can be very hard to relax, right? So thinking putty is meant to be there, kind of like a pen would be for, you know, the executive who clicks the pen constantly. This gives you sensory input. It gives your hands something to do so that it quiets the brain in this really interesting way. Oh, it's getting lighter and lighter. Can you see how much lighter it is than the one? No, because my hand is covering it. It is lighter. Oh, well, I just shot that across the room. But anyway, thinking putty, it comes in all different colors, and this one has a little bit of glitter to it. And I really encourage you to think about the person that you love on the spectrum and what do they like. And I assure you that, Erin, sometimes they have things that they hide in the putty, that they have to look for the thing. They have, you know, galactic putty that swirls. It's I'm desperately trying to see if I can get this to be yellow. I just don't think I have enough warmth in my hands, period. But it's getting much, much lighter. We're getting yellow adjacent at some point. But thinking putty, love, love, love. So many different ways to do it. We see kids that, you know, they're typing, but then they take a break, and this, you know, works out the hands. You're doing all that fine motor stuff, but it's really lovely sensory. We gave this an award, though, for the motor aspect, because we love that it helps build all those muscles in your hands. So, and especially if you're trying to get it to turn yellow. I'm getting closer, but I'm not there yet. There we go. Okay, so Crazy Errands, it's crazy good. Try all of their different flavors and colors. Okay, I see Autism Journey with Elijah. There you are. I forgot you were an hour behind us here in Arizona. Now I know I'm here. Love this. Thanks for doing this. This will help my little guy. And Alicia, hello, hola. What else we got there, Chris? Oh, Cubendi. Okay. So Cubendi comes to us from the Fun and Motion people. This won our top toy for adults. And this looks kind of familiar to you guys if you've seen the toy guide before, because this is very similar to the Shishibo, but it's like the new and improved version of Shishibo. So it comes and you've got this block, and it's being very reactive to the green screen because there's a lot on it that's green. Each one is different and unique, but what you do is you crack this thing open, and now I can create different shapes with it. And I can peel this apart, and you can see, look at that, right? And it's kind of a fun thing to figure out how many shapes can you make, and then can you get it back to a cube? And you know, sometimes it takes me a while, but I can eventually get it back to a cube. But the thing about this thing is that it's just addictive. Oh, look at that. I made a triangle now, and I've hidden all of those darker green parts. There is no, I don't think I've ever made the triangle or the rectangle before. There is no, and there are little magnets that are in that allow you, that it snaps together in different ways. Made that shape. But there are certain ways that the block won't move, right? And you can feel the resistance when you get to that level, right? It will kind of stop you. Oh, look at that. I made two little diamonds together. It's endless, the amount of fun that you can have with this thing. And it's relaxing. And again, talk about quieting that part of your brain that has just really got a lot to say. It's a fascinating thing. I have no idea what that shape is. But I can play with this for hours, literal hours. and come up with more and fascinating things. But anybody that I've seen that's on the spectrum, they will play with it and figure it out, and then they learn how to take it back to a block. I was going to see, I was close, but I'm not going to be able to get it back to a block because I have to practice for a while. But I love giving this to somebody on the spectrum and letting them figure it out and get it to the, and then there's like 12 different shapes that they know exactly how to do. And they will foom, 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 kind of like a Rubik's Cube and make the whole thing go together. It's really fun, you guys. There's a very satisfying, there's also a sphere mode. I don't think I'm going to get it in the sphere mode right now. But so much fun. So much fun. Everybody in the family will have a good time with it. But we gave this the top toy for adults because we think it's a great toy for adults, but age appropriate also for tweens and teens and even some school-aged kids. So much fun. Cubendi. Oh, I'm so close. I almost have it back to the block. I thought I had it for a moment. But see, this is, oh, what's happening? Nope. Oh, it's back to a cube. Brilliance, brilliance. And they will be so happy and celebrate. What's our next toy up? Oh, the Moosh Moosh. Oh my goodness, the Moosh Moosh. Okay, so if you guys don't know Moosh Moosh, this was our Kids' Choice Award for adults, and kind of really super love them. Oh, they're soft, they're plush, they feel good. I'm wreaking havoc here. Okay. So I've got my pile of Moosh Moosh here. And these are Christmas-themed ones. So I've got my elf and I've got my little raccoony guy, I guess is what he is. They're so soft, you guys. I've got a snowman that's here. But my fave, can I just say, I'm going to put those there for a second. My absolute fave is this rainbow, it's like a kitty unicorn. Or a pig. I don't know what it is. But I love him. And it's interesting to me that our kid judges, when we ask them, what do you think an adult on the spectrum would like? This is what they said. And it just reminded me of the fact that we all can use a Moosh Moosh in our lives, right? And that we all need something soft to feel and something comforting, something to put your head on, and something that's just fun, right? That I would send this off to college with somebody. I absolutely would. Look at that face. And so ridiculously soft, you guys. So I love listening to the kids who said this is what adults on the spectrum would really love. And I think that it's true. I'm an adult, I'm not on the spectrum, and I would love one of these. Just adorable. They also make slippers, you guys, and pillows that are bigger triangles. They make squares. They make spheres, just everything. Go to Moosh Moosh. They're wonderful. This was the Kids' Choice. Okay. Do I have one more? I think I've got a couple of more. We're running out of time. The bubbles, the bubbles, the bubbles. So when we get into the caregiver categories, you guys, we tried to do, this by the way is the speech builder for caregiver. Wow, amazing giant bubble concentrate kit from South Beach Bubbles. I tried to in the caregiver take care of both ends because I know that we need to be doing things for ourselves. That's 100%, right? And so there are some gifts that are just for caregivers. But in the past, caregivers have said to me, you know what I want more than anything else for the holiday season? I want to be able to connect with my kid. And that's something we tried to be very mindful about. And this kit will help you to connect with your kiddo and to get them speaking. Bubbles are always a great motivator for speech, but these are giant bubbles. And that you can make easily with this kit, because I don't know if you've ever been to a fair or an event where they have the giant bubble maker. I remember a time when there was a platform in it and the kids could get in and then they would pull the bubble up around them. And I have a picture of Jem being inside the bubble and he talked to Blue Streak about it, right? You can do that with this, but you can also make the great giant bubbles that you're chasing around in a yard. All the neighborhood kids will want to come and play with this, and they make it really easy to be able to do this. There's a package that you mix with water, and you've got everything that you need right here in this kit to make those ginormous bubbles that are really durable and fabulous. So great way to connect with your kiddo, great way to spark speech, right? So we totally recommend this. This is the Wow Amazing Giant Bubble Concentrate Kit. You just add water, and they've given you really everything else that you need, which we love. Okay, what else have I got? I think I've got one or two more, Chris. Oh, and of course, I had these in my purse, and I didn't bring them in. So these were our sensory toy winner. I'll bring them for tomorrow's show so that you can see, but they look exactly like this. This is the Calmer Soft by Flair. These are not quite earplugs, but you put them into your ears, and there's a hole in them, so it allows sound through. It's not deadening the sound, but it focuses the sound. I don't pretend to completely understand how it works, but they're kind of amazing. And there are 3 main different versions of this kind of a thing that are on the market right now. And I've heard good things about all 3, but overwhelmingly from adults on the spectrum, we have heard that this particular version helps them immensely, that it cuts down on noise that's happening behind them and helps them to focus on what's happening in front of them to be able to hear sound, but it takes out some of the noise, if that makes sense. They're very easy. They have a little itty bitty piece that sticks out that's like the handle, and you pop them in your ears, and you're totally, it's not like the earmuffs. Always before we've had on the toy guide at least one set of the earmuffs, but we heard from so many adults this year saying this is better because I can hear what's happening, but I'm able to sensory tune out more sounds that were annoying and not the sound that I was trying to listen to, but I can hear conversation because there's a clear hole that allows sound through, but there's this whole other mechanism that it dials down on some of the noise that prevents us from being able to hear. We've heard so many great things from adults about them. I've put them in, and they're very comfortable, and I found that they did take out, I don't even like to go to the movie theater because if people talk behind me, it spoils the whole thing for me. And I found that it did help with that. I haven't worn them a lot, but I was like, okay, I don't know what the science is behind this, but it's super cool. They're called Calmer Soft by Flair. Wonderful. Do I have one more, Chris, or was that the last one? Okay. So, and I will make sure that I have them. They were in my purse today, but because I was using them. But I will make sure that I bring them so that you guys can see. But I think actually the picture is that much better. So these are just some of the amazing toys and gift in our toy guide this year. You can find that right now if you go to autismnetwork.com. You'll be able to click on Toy Guide and be able to pick the category that you want to be in. But you can see that the Moosh Moosh was in the adult, and you might want to get that for your preschooler. So I encourage you to look at all the categories. Tomorrow, we're going to show you some even more toys, right? More of our favorites, so you're not going to want to miss out on that. We aren't doing, we don't have Dr. Doreen tomorrow, so it's just toys the whole time. And Pantoja, I haven't seen you in a long time. I'm so thrilled that you're here, and you said, love these ideas, thank you. So check out the toy guide, check your list. Lots of exciting toys. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now. If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you so much. See you next time.